In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a simple hiking map in Adobe Illustrator. Illustrator is the best choice for drawing maps because all of the graphics are scalable in what's called a vector format. You can make the map as big or as small as you need, and it will look fine. If you draw the map in Photoshop, if you scale it too big or squish it too small, the graphics just don't work as well. So I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Illustrator to make great, simple hiking maps. As you can see, I have Adobe Illustrator opened right here. And what we're going to do is start off with going to File, New, and then we're going to create a custom size. And what I want you to do is change the scale from pixels or points or whatever it is. We're going to go to inches, and we're going to make a nice big map here. The only thing you need to be concerned with right now is we're going to go with 10 inches and 8 inches. If you're using the metric system, choose 25 centimeters by about, let's say, 20 centimeters, and you'll get about the same effect. You can leave this map in CMYK mode. It won't matter when you export for a PDF or a picture. Make sure that you have high 300 ppi set, and everything else is good. Click Create, and now we have what's called the artboard. This artboard gives us the ability to draw everything we want. Now I've got a bunch of tools and everything open already. I'm going to pull those little flyout windows in here, and hopefully they won't get stuck. And this is how we're going to draw. You need several tools open to make sure that you can end up drawing your map. And if you click on Window, you can see all the different options available in Adobe Illustrator. The first is Appearance, and then Graphic Styles, and then Layers. You need to open Appearance and Layers for sure. And then other toolbars, you need the Basic toolbar here and the Control tab up top so you can add all the different material that you need. You will also need the stroke menu here. And if you can't find the stroke item here, you can always go to Help, type stroke, and this will, let's see, where is it? Same fill, stroke. Oh, there's the stroke menu. It's under Window and then Stroke near the bottom. So once you get stroke and appearance and all these different windows open that you can see here, then we're going to place the map that we're going to outline. And what you do is you go to File and then go down to Place. And I copied this map off the web just for a good instance to give you an idea of what is possible. And I generated a PDF, and I'm going to bring this in. It doesn't matter if your map is a PNG, a JPEG, a PDF, or anything else. Simply click on your PDF and hit Place, and then move your mouse in, and you will see the mouse ends up looking like this strange corner of your map. And what you want to do is click and drag into the space, and that will scale up your map. And that's why I used a PDF, because the map is highly scalable. Now that we have our map placed on here, we need to go look at the layers. Now this layer here, you can rename the layer if you need to. From layer 1, double click and change it to map, base, whatever you want to call it. And then I highly recommend locking the map so you don't accidentally click on it so it moves around. And the way to do that is in this little blank space here, click Lock. And again, remember you need to have the Layers tab open in order to make this work. And there we go, I've adjusted my setup so it's a little bit easier for you to view. Now in your layers, in order to draw your first hiking trail line, what you're going to need to do is hit the little plus here, which is Create a New Layer. Everything in Illustrator has layers, and that's how you draw. You don't draw in a single, what you call layer, because everything is separated so you can make adjustments. Once you click the plus and you see this layer number 2 here, what you do is you go over to the tools, and you're going to use the pen tool. It looks like a little calligraphy pen, and it's very nice. If that's not shown, you can click and hold and you'll see the pen tool. There's also the shortcut key, which is P, that will also select the pen tool. Now that I've clicked the pen tool, I'm ready to draw my hiking trail. Now you can see the pen tool here looks like a little calligraphy item with an asterisk next to it. And the asterisk means you are drawing a new line. And before we begin doing that, we're going to go to the stroke window here. If you don't have the stroke window up, again, go into Window and click Stroke, and that will bring it up for you. And we want to increase the weight of our stroke line to 1 point. And that will become very apparent in a minute. So now that we have a stroke line that is 1 point wide, we can click an individual point to where we want to start on our map, come to the next point, click, and click, and click, and click, and click, and click, and oh no, that's really weird. What's going on here? We have this strange fill sort of look. We have this white junk in the middle of our line. And what's happening is Illustrator is adding a fill, what's called a fill to your line, and we don't want to do that. So what you need to do is go to the Appearance tab, which is right here. If you don't have the Appearance tab, that is under Window and then Appearance. And in the Appearance tab, you will see our stroke line is black and our fill is white. If you click on the white once, you'll get a down selector, click again, and you'll be presented with a bunch of different colors. The color we want is the little white square with a red slash through it, and that is none. So when I click that, you'll notice my fill disappears. Okay, click away. And now I can keep drawing my line. Click, 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 click. I'll show you a better trick in a moment. And you continue to click around. And when you get to the end of the loop, if you notice, you'll see the little circle next to my calligraphy pen. I will shut the base layer off so you can see it better. You can see the calligraphy pen. But when I get near the end of the loop, you'll see a circle next to the calligraphy pen, and that means I've actually created a circular loop. If you don't want to do that and you want to end here, that's perfectly fine. You can just hit the Escape key, and then you hit the Escape key again, and you're done with your line. Now that we've got our line here, it doesn't look very exciting because it's a straight line, and most of the time on a hiking map, lines are dashed. So what you do is go to the Selection tool or the V shortcut key. This works on both Mac and PC. Click the Selection tool and we will select our trail. If for some reason the trail is not selected, you can simply hover over it with the Selection tool and click Select. And now we're going to change the appearance of our line because a hiking line should be dashed. So what we're going to do is click on the Stroke tab. Again, the Stroke tab is Windows and then Stroke right here. Now we can change the weight of the line. If you want to make it fat, you can change the end here. Let me zoom in a bit. I'll show you the difference. You can change what the end caps looks like, whether they're square, rounded, or the end point terminates. You can change the corners of your lines here and any other thing, but what we want is a dashed line. And what you do is you click the checkbox that says dash line, and you can get, say, 12 points of dashes and then a gap and dash. You can change this as you want. Let's say I want 5 points and then a 4-point gap, and then you can get this nice dashed line. If you want longer dashes, maybe you want them to be 10 points, and you'll see, I'll zoom out here, you get a nice series of dashed lines with smaller gaps in there. You can change these gaps as you need. If you want an interesting series where you have a 10-point, a 2-point, maybe a 5-point dash and a 2-point, or a 6-point dash and a 2-point. You can create all sorts of variations with this dashed line tool. And now you can see that we've got this nice hiking trail here. I'll make it look like a normal topo map. There we go, and we'll switch this over. Perfect. All right, let me select it again, delete, 2-point gap. There you go. So there is a line that is dashed. I would recommend maybe 5 points and 5 points on the gap. Now again, you'll notice that I'm typing this in and that I deselected my trail. You need to select your trail every time. It's an easy mistake to do. So I'm going to go with 5 and then 5. And now I've got this nice dashed line. Now if I go back to my map base layer here and click, I've now got my dashed line along my lake shore right here. So I'm well along my way to creating a hiking trail. Now the next thing on a hiking trail we're going to want to add are, let's say, a circle as a starting point. So if you come over to the controls and tools here, you might see a circle, you might see a rectangle. Right now my tools are showing a rectangle. If you click and hold this box, you can get rectangles, ellipses, polygons, stars, all sorts of options. I'm going to choose the ellipse tool. And now you can see that the cursor is a little target. And what I'm going to do is click and drag my little cursor, and you can see it scale out here. Let me shut off the map so you can see what I'm doing. I'll delete that again. And you can click and drag and generate this circle. Now obviously I want a circle. So what you do is you hold the Shift key down, and as you're clicking and dragging, that forces Illustrator to make a perfect circle every time. Now, you'll notice I've got these hashes and whatnot around my line because I've got a dashed line selected. So what I'm going to do is shut off my dashed line, and now you can see a solid circle here, but I want the middle to be filled with black. So I go back to the Appearance tab, and you'll see the appearance is selected with no fill. That's an easy fix. I simply click the down arrow, choose black, and now my circle is perfect. Now you go back to the selection tool here, click, and now I can drag my starting point to here, and now I'm well on my way to making my hiking map. Now the next trick, I'm going to put a link below to this, is to pull up the National Park Symbol Library, nps.gov/map/tools/symbol-library/. Lots of slashes. I'll put a link below for your convenience. But the National Park Service actually allows you, well, they license you to use all of their different park symbols for maps that you might want to draw. Of course, check with the legal terms and all this stuff. But I've already found it here. I want to add a campsite to my map. So you can see the little camping icon. So if I click on the campsite map, nothing happens. Oh, that's kind of irritating. But if you right-click on it and you save an image as, I'm going to put this in my map file, but you'll notice it has this weird extension, SVG. That means that icon is scalable in InDesign, so it won't get all jaggy on the edges. So I'm going to click Save. And now, in Illustrator, I will go back to Illustrator. We're going to place this tent, File, Place, and now I'm going to choose my campsite-black-22 SVG file, click Place, and you will again see the little 3 icon for scaling. You click and drag, and now I've created a little tent icon that with the Move tool here, I can click and drag and place my campsite in my trail map. Now we're really getting somewhere. And the third thing we need to do in our trail map, now that we've created our little trail and we've got our little starting point here, is we need to add some text to this map. So what we're going to do is go and choose the Text Type tool, click Type here, And now you're going to come out and you're going to click and drag a box. And you want to click and drag a box so you have a contained amount of text. Illustrator, depending on the version you have, may fill or may not. And what you're going to do is type in Lake Shore Loop. That's simply it. You hit Escape, select the Move tool, and now you can move your Lakeshore Loop path to wherever you want. If you want to change the text in this box, simply click and select all of your text. In order to get to the character window, you need to go to Window, scroll down to Type, and then choose Character. And once this little character, type character, pops up, now you can change the font to whatever you want. You can change the point size just like you might in your favorite word processor. And you can do all sorts of the fun things with all the normal material in your hiking map. So I will zoom out now and we'll see I've got my Lakeshore Loop. And let's say I don't want to type again, I want to keep the same font. You can do the Edit, Copy, click away, go Edit, Paste, and now I can start cloning my text. And I know this hike is 1.1 miles or 1.7 kilometers. And now we know where this is. Let's call our campsite, Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste, and we're going to call this Lakeside Camp. Perfect. Now, if you don't want to keep doing the Edit, Copy, and Edit, Paste action, on the Mac, if you hold the Option key, or on the PC, you hold Alt down, if you hover over the text that you want to clone, and you click on it, you'll notice when I click and release the Alt or the Option key, the cursor changes to this double mouse thing. And what you do is that's the fast copy tool. You hold Option or Alt down, you click and drag, and now you can make copies super fast. This works for everything in your Illustrator file. If you need another campsite, you can copy it there as well. And now that we have our map drawn, we need to export this picture into somewhere useful. So now what you do is you go to File, Export, and we're going to export for screens because that's how we're going to view our map. And you're going to choose the location, just choose all these selections, it'll be fine there. And I'm going to choose the PNG file format because that keeps the edges of the image nice, unlike a JPEG where sharp edges can look a little bit fuzzy. And you simply click Export the Artboard, and voila, I now have a hiking map that we can use and send to other people. Unfortunately, there is a problem with my hiking map, and there's this huge gap of space here. So what I'm going to do is close that map, delete the file, move to trash, and I realize if I zoom out, and I'll show you how to zoom, you go to View and then Zoom in or out. If you hold the Control on the PC or the Command button on the Mac, you can zoom in or out. Plus plus, Command minus minus. You can do that also if you have a trackpad like this. You can also pinch zoom, hopefully, in Illustrator. There we go. And we'll see this huge blank space. And now what we want to do is change how the artboard looks because this is too big of a space. What you do is you go to the left-hand side here where the artboard tool is, click on there, and now we can change how big or small our picture is by clicking and dragging here, and then that's it. You don't have to hit enter or anything. I would suggest hitting escape, and then you go to the move tool, and now we'll zoom in here. Let's see, there we go. We've got our nice little map, and we'll go Lakeside Camp. We'll copy, and we'll call this Riverside Camp, even though there's no river there. And now again, we can go to File, Export, Export for Screens. Come here to the desktop. Do we need to add a scale or anything? No. We want to make sure it's full quality. Hit Export Artboard, and now you can see that I've got this nice little map of a trail that I can email to anyone. So that is how you make a simple hiking map using Adobe Illustrator. My name is Aaron Linstow. I'm a digital arts teacher and I teach a lot of classes. Check out the link below. I've got a cool InDesign class on how to do fiction book layouts and other things. Please like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy your map making.